Hey guys, and welcome to another daily. This one was sent in by What Ya Want, and he was playing Riven top against Kennen. About Riven top against Kennen, I think it's mostly a skill matchup with maybe a slight advantage for Kennen, and you can see he's waiting here for a 4-pot. That's a good choice. You pretty much every top lane who starts boots goes for a 4-pot, and generally most of the time you won't want to start anything else but boots. And they actually have a Karthus jungle as well, which is sort of fun to play, I guess. It's not really that strong. But in mid, they have Kassadin with actually just full AP runes. And if you're going to play Kassadin mid, I wouldn't suggest that. I know a lot of people actually go health regen Quints, because it's quite hard in the early, but I suppose if you're against Veigar, you probably don't need it so bad. But if you're against Veigar and Kassadin, you probably don't want to get as much AP as you can. You probably want to get some magic resist as well. Just simply because he obviously scales off AP and things like that, and maybe even if you're going to be forced to use Q to farm a lot, he'll probably want even to get some like some mana regen or something like that. But I'm going to go away from mid now because this guy is really annoying, spamming laugh. So Kennen actually has AP runes. I see a lot of Kennens now. They start with AD runes and sort of transition into AP later once their lane opponent has bought some armor. And Riven actually started with E, which was smart because you're going to be getting a lot of harass done early, and that's going to be difficult to deal with. But say you're an AD versus a melee versus a ranged on top lane, it's just generally difficult to deal with. To make it a lot easier, you can just push the lane, sort of, but that's also very risky to do. And if you're not pushing the lane, you're going to get harassed a little bit. But I think what he's doing now is the best sort of choice, best sort of idea, to just E and last hit when you can. But that's really nice for Karthus jungle to get first blood. Definitely. I think the main sort of levels when Riven's going to start being able to be aggressive is like 4 to 6, like around that sort of area. He probably wants to start getting aggressive. But Karthus is actually coming up. It's always annoying when you're getting ganked like this, when you have a massive wave like this, and you're getting a gank for you. It can be quite irritating sometimes. And he also doesn't have Q to help him get the gank off there. But he might have been able to get a kill then, Riven, if he See, the problem with that is that he lost all of these creeps XP and farm to the tower, which can be quite irritating. And Karthus is going to be taking even more XP, but I suppose it isn't too bad since Kennen has been forced out of lane anyway. He actually has no flash now as well, but Karthus he's okay at ganking, but he's not really the best ganker, so it's not like he's going to come as a Nautilus and take massive advantage of this and get a bunch of kills on Kennen from it and make him even further behind. But generally, Kennen didn't even go back, but generally if you're against ranged on top as a melee, it's nice to get a gank in the first 5 minutes or so. It just helps you out quite a bit. And if I was Riven right now I'd probably be playing aggressive, just sort of trying to E and W whenever I can, and then maybe follow up with some Qs. So you can do an insane amount of damage on Riven in this sort of area of levels. She actually got nerfed, like, she's still good, but she got nerfed before. She was so OP, not that long ago, really. Yeah. But if you're playing Kennen, like, even top or mid, or even bottom, you just want to constantly have your stacks on them like that. Your lightning stacks, and just getting an auto attack with the, it puts a stack on them, and then activating it with W after waiting for a bit prolongs the time that the stacks are on, and it's really helpful to get the stuns off. I don't know how Kassadin is doing. He's 24 against 22 of Veigar. I mean, Veigar's going to have a hard time when Kassadin hits around 6 or so. It's going to be nothing Veigar will be able to do. I would even say it'd be worth taking AD runes on Veigar if you're going to play against Kassadin and just auto-attacking him like hell to death. It may seem out of the norm, but things like that can really work. And they have Leona Ezreal against Varus Alistar. Oh no, Alistar's jungle. Varus Tarek. And I always feel like Leona's especially good against heroes that don't have any escapes, like Varus. I didn't see what happened there, but yeah. But Leona seems to me to be really good against heroes without any escapes, like Varus, Ashe, Kog'Maw, things like that. Yeah, that's another thing you need to keep in mind when you're playing against Kennen, is what the stacks are like on you. You can actually just see on your buff and debuff bar. And this is the sort of area where both laners would need to play carefully here. But Riven actually did quite a nice job of baiting him there. And Kennen was probably greedy to try and get a kill then, because it was never going to happen. It was really impossible for him to get a kill. But yeah, when you're playing top lane or mid lane, that's the sort of time where you really need to be insanely careful. Maybe any lane, really. Is when you need to be insanely careful. Is when, if they're going to hit 6 before you and then just be able to just take you down easily with their ultimate. But Riven's really... Karthus is like doing a lot of work, like top and mid. He's doing a lot of a better job than Alistar actually is, so that's saying a lot about the enemy Alistar skill. He should have at least ganked top once by now, but he hasn't, unfortunately, for the blue team. But Riven's... what's she going to buy? I would say she'd buy Phage, but I would actually buy Double Doran's here. Yeah, I would buy Null Magic Mantle and Double Doran's Blade. But it seems like he's going to go for Hex Drinker straight away, which I suppose is a good choice as well. I know a lot of people, when they're against Kennen, when they're playing like Riven or Wukong or something like that, they go straight for a Hex Drinker. That can be a smart choice. Here we have Leona Taric. I feel like they're basically almost the same champion, except Leona's better because she has more crowd control and more damage, really. I don't know. Taric is just easier to play, really. That's all there is to it. Karthus is coming in with a lane gank here. That wall wasn't ideal, really, but I think... did Taric flash over it? Yeah, he did. But nice easy kill. That shows the importance of having a ward in the brush. Having a ward in the brush, that would just wouldn't have happened then. I mean, now he might even get dived. Yeah, he's going to get dived now. So that's not good at all. All of those 2 deaths and missing all this farm would have just easily been avoided with just a ward in a brush. Let's see how Riven is doing now. She should really, in theory, be able to do quite well against Kennen now. I mean, he's just taking quite a bit of damage as well. Here we go. She's on the aggressive. See, if Riven did all of those spells with that ultimate on, she would have been able to kill him. And I suppose that was an okay play from Riven, like just making him use flash there. But if Riven had her ultimate on, then she would have easily killed Kennen. It wouldn't have been a sweat broken then, and she could easily kill him now just by E'ing up and then flash stunning and then Q. And she missed the end of the Q then, which wasn't that great really. You can't. It would have just been a kill basically if she didn't miss that. He's spamming his bots to get some health up now. But, you know, luckily Kennen's just not warding at all and Karthus is just taking great advantage of it. This Karthus is just playing exceptionally well. If you see, he's been part of every single kill on the map. I know this replay was sent in by Riven, but his play isn't exactly amazing here. It's mostly just been Karthus who's carrying the game completely. No one else has really done anything exceptional. Just Karthus doing really good work. I mean, just from watching this game so far, it doesn't look like he should be in this ELO. If you're dominating a game so hard like this, I'm not sure if he should be. Oh well. And Ezreal should probably beat Varus in lane. I'm not sure, but especially if he's got 2 kills on him. And I never feel like on Ezreal you want to rush. Berserker Greaves that bad. And I think Ezreal probably could have been hitting Varus then instead of Leona. Because Leona isn't going to want to CC Taric, and Ezreal will do more damage to Varus based on Leona's based on whoever's CC Leona is hitting. Here we have an engage actually between Riven and Kennen. Her ultimate's actually up. Here you see her popping it now. See, that's just pure raw damage of Riven. He probably could have activated his ultimate a little bit earlier. Maybe he just didn't want to let him know that he had it. I guess that makes sense. And pretty much always against Kennens, you want to rush Mercury Treads. Even if it's AD Kennen, like, people don't realise it, but even if it's AD Kennen, simply because the amount of stuns he does is just insane. You don't really want to be getting stunned as much as he possibly can. When he's got his ultimate running, he's got 4 spells that are able to put like the stacks on him. And you can spam them quite quickly, like the cooldown on Q and W is pretty short on Kennen. And there's nothing really the bot lane can do here. I think they were actually winning before all this started happening. It's not really much they can do. And Kennen is not generally going to win lane against Riven, especially if she's rushing Hex Drinker. But he's doing well of sort of freezing lane and zoning Kennen out now. He should be able to play aggressive on him. Though it's not good to miss a stun like that, because that would have been a lot of free damage. If he queued a little bit before doing the stun, it would have been fine, I think. Like just jumping out and queuing now. See, he gets greedy and tries to do the stun and then queue afterwards, but he just needs to do a little bit of queue first and then be in range to get the stun off. But Kennen probably should have bought some armor now by the time of this. Like Ninja Tabi would have helped, even if Riven does a lot of damage. Just casting Ninja Tabi would have helped greatly. She's actually only 2 levels above, but 2 full levels basically above Kennen, which is a lot to be above. She could probably just dive him soon. The only problem with diving Kennen is that he stuns you a lot, but she's got Merc Treads now, so she won't be stunned that long. And getting dived like this after you've let a massive wave of creeps come is the worst, because you don't get any of the XP from all these creeps. And she could have stunned them then, because he sort of just stopped, but I suppose there was no way for Riven to know he was going to stop like that. And I mean, if the jungler or top came behind like that, it would be such an easy kill for Riven. Sort of wasted flash for no reason there, Kassadin. But they definitely need to steal that blue. It'd be really nice to just get a free blue, take it away from Veigar. It's horrible to get your blue stolen on characters like Veigar and Kassadin and things like that. And it's always nice to get a free blue. But if Kennen gets killed now, that's just poor play by him. I guess Kassadin wants to go mid instead. Well, I don't think he knows Riven is in there. See, that's where the you actually get more stun and more damage off by just E and then Wing, because if you're using Q to gain distance and you're not using it to damage, which isn't ideal, so that's why he kept trying to E and then W, I suppose, instead of he should die here, Kennen. That was a nice ulti, but what people don't realise is that Riven's ulti gives you attack damage, and people just think they need to use it as a finisher. Like, you need to activate it, get the attack damage from it, and like the extra range from your auto attacks also helps a hell of a lot, and then shoot the ulti off afterwards. But this game seems to be a big stump from here on out, really. I mean, yeah, I didn't realise this game would be such a stump. But I don't think there's any reason to continue on here. There's probably not going to be any more mistakes that aren't just chalked down to being too far behind or anything like that. So I think I'll just end it here. Looks like it only has about 5 minutes more to go anyway. So thanks for watching, guys, and tune in next time.